I'm a fake young lady who always acts as mild and elegant as a chrysanthemum. To expose my pretense of being lofty and unpretentious, the female lead bound me to a mind-reading system. The female lead competed with me for a dress. I'm dying to eat an orange, but I have to keep my calm and composed demeanor. I'll sneakily eat it under the covers later. The real young lady, huh? A powerful figure stepped up to defend the real young lady. That executive chair looks so comfortable, but the most important thing for a person is to maintain dignity. I can't ask for the link, better sneak a photo of it later and search for the item online. The powerful figure, huh? Later, someone accused me of pretending to be noble and indifferent. The real young lady, no, she truly doesn't care. I'm dying for an orange, but I have to stay unperturbed. I'll just sneakily eat it under the covers later. Lily, who'd snatched the more expensive formal dress, froze mid-smile. A long time ago, the as mild as a chrysanthemum system sought me out and told me to play the role of a supporting female character who was as mild as a chrysanthemum. I didn't need to do anything special. I just had to stay calm and unassuming at all times, and maintain my dignity. I reacted instinctively, whatever works. The system replied, perfect. You're already in character. After living such a mild and unpretentious life ever since I transmigrated here, I finally found out I was the fake young lady, and naturally, the female lead, Lily, was the real one. Before we picked out dresses, she whispered quietly, I'll make everyone see your true colors. Mom came over to have us choose. I looked indifferent, anything's fine with me. Sophia's such a sensible girl. Then Mom'll pick for you, she said, nodding in approval as she pointed to the more expensive and glamorous dress. It was clearly a way to make Lily play the foil. But Lily grabbed that dress anyway and spoke first. Since my sister said anything's fine, I'll just pick what I like. Mom shot her a sharp look. What are you snatching for? You're not even half as composed as your sister. Lily was like a different person. She didn't look the least bit upset. She only stared at me defiantly. But I just nodded lightly and said, it's fine. Dress, orange. Oh, how I crave an orange right now. But I have to stay unperturbed. I'll just sneakily eat it under the covers later. Hide the orange under the radar scheme, way to go, me. Mom fell silent for a moment, then patted my head gently. This kid's perfect in every way, except she's a bit too naive. Good news, I have a super rich boyfriend. Bad news, I found out about it from someone else. An arranged childhood marriage? A betrothal set when we were still in our mother's wombs. After thinking about it, I asked. Wait, so the fiancé isn't actually me, right? Mom shot me a playful glare. Only after noticing Lily showed no particular reaction did she say, our situation is special, so let's just take both girls over for him to meet. Mind blown, who knew there were still people stuck in the Qing dynasty era these days? Dude's acting like he's picking concubines. How full of himself can he get? Mom tapped the back of my head lightly. You don't get it. Ethan's young, accomplished, and keeps himself out of scandals. He's the best catch in this social circle. If you can end up with him, Mom will finally be able to rest easy. So the next day, we were taken to meet Ethan. The man looked at us, a hint of amusement in his tone. I hear one of you two is my fiancé. So, which one is it? Mom gave me a little nudge from behind, signaling me to speak up. And speak up I did. Look, this whole thing's a bit complicated. I put together a PPT about it. How about you check that out first to get the full picture? At my words, Ethan let out a cold laugh. He stood up and stepped closer to me. No need, he said. I've heard all about you. You've been sitting in the crown prince's seat 4 years, you little imposter. Why are you still hanging around the Yun family? He continued, leaning down slightly so his shadow completely engulfed me. I hung my head and said nothing, looking as if I were utterly ashamed. Deep down, though, that executive chair of his looked so comfortable. But dignity's the most important thing for a person. I couldn't just ask for the link. I'd sneak a photo later and search for it online. Seeing he had no intention of sitting back down anytime soon, I thought, could I pretend to fiddle with the computer so I can sneak a seat in his chair? So I held up the USB drive. Are you sure you don't want to take a look? My PPT's super detailed. Sitting on the sofa, I looked at that executive chair with regret. It even had casters. Wait, no, I had to stay unperturbed. How could I let my interest show in a chair with casters, a backrest, and what clearly looked like an ergonomic design? Ethan brewed tea slowly and deliberately. I'll honor the engagement, he said, but I don't want my future wife to suffer any wrongs. So, he slid the teacup toward me. Whatever belongs to her, I expect you to give it back. Mom stood up abruptly. Sophia is the one I raised. She's my daughter. You were the one who brought up the engagement first, and now? Call it off. We don't care for it anyway. Ethan leaned back casually in his chair, confident and unflustered. I know you have a favor to ask of me. How's that project in the eastern suburbs going? The anger froze on her face for a split second. It's scalding hot. I picked up the teacup, then set it right back down. I'm officially certified as mild as a chrysanthemum. Even if I get scalded, I have to keep up my dignified demeanor. I quietly rubbed my hands together, to soothe the burn. A power play, huh? But if I drink this scalding tea, I'll end up with a hoarse voice like Bow Wow in Hibiscus Town. Better pop a candy in my mouth, later I can just say I can't drink water, to avoid it. So I pretended nothing had happened, peeled a candy, and popped it in my mouth. When I looked up, I found the earlier tense, confrontational atmosphere had vanished completely. Noticing they were all staring at me, I wondered, could it be because I'm eating alone without sharing? So I pulled the candies out of my pocket. Want one? If I get kicked out later, where should I set up a stall? Where's the foot traffic the heaviest? Lily fell into deep self-doubt. Ethan looked at me with a complicated expression. What exactly are you here for? This is what they call coming like the Tathagata Buddha. Wait, hold on. I put on a serious face, hesitated for a long time, and finally pulled a face out of my mouth. Huh? This isn't a candy, it's a compressed face mask. It expands and puffs up when it meets water. Just casually eating a face mask. Wait, no, even after eating a face mask, I've got to keep my dignity. I fell silent for 2 seconds, then said confidently, magic. Shouldn't have said magic, I should have gone with time to witness a miracle. I muttered to myself in frustration while washing my hands. When I turned around, though, Lily was standing right behind me. She eyed me warily. Did you also come back? I glanced around, confused. Come back? To where? The bathroom? Is she calling me garbage? Seeing my reaction didn't seem faked, she frowned. Then why are you different? Aren't you supposed to tell him firmly you won't marry him, that all people are born equal, and family love shouldn't be based solely on blood ties? Aren't you trying to get his attention? Aren't you always into pretending to be all lofty and indifferent, then getting others to hand you whatever you want on a silver platter? Huh? Is that what I'm supposed to do? That sounds pretty tough, right? Even when accused, I've got to keep my dignity. I put on a serious face. If that's what you think, I can't defend myself no matter how I try. Heh, she scoffed. No matter what you say, I know your real colors. I won't let you get your way this time. I've been wanting to ask this. Why is she the older sister? A look of confusion crossed her face. By all accounts, I should be the older one, right? Oh, I remember now. Mom asked me back then, did I want to be the older sister or the younger one? I'd replied lightly, either's fine. Well, that settles that. The next day, I stood outside the front gate with my suitcase, but hesitated to leave. Lily spoke up, sneering. You're not waiting for Mom to come back and beg you to stay, are you? Putting on this act like I kicked you out? You might as well beg me. Maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to let you stay. Before I could even open my mouth, a car pulled up right in front of me. The window rolled down, and Toby jeered. Well, if it isn't Sophia. Haven't seen you in a few days, and you're already such a mess? Kicked out, huh? That's rough. You keep staring at your phone. Who are you waiting for? Don't tell me it's that fiancé of yours from the arranged childhood betrothal? Toby and I grew up together, but he's the only one who sees me as his archenemy. The main reason? Back when we were kids, we were basically latchkey kids. As a girl, I developed faster than him, so I was way taller. Then I tricked him into thinking I was his mom. And he bought it. My bad. The kid was already a little naive, and I just had to tease him. Quit waiting for him, let's go. My mom told me to ask you over to our place. Lily's face lit up in realization. So you've switched targets? You're faking being pitiful just to get him? Humph, talking about sisters and all that. I even second-guessed myself, wondering if I'd gotten it wrong. Turns out you never change. Wait, what? Toby's face flushed. Faking being pitiful, for me? Ahem, I'm not gonna fall for this lousy trick. It was like he was putting up a front, insisting he wasn't wrapped around my finger. Nope, he just loved spinning in circles. They kept talking over each other, and for a second, I had no idea who to respond to first. Can y'all not crowd here? My takeout's gonna arrive soon. You're all staring at me. How am I supposed to stay mild and unassuming? Oh, whatever. Soon I'll be off to my part-time job, and hey, even at work, I've gotta keep my dignity. I've more or less figured out what's going on. She's a rebirthed female lead, so this must be karmic retribution for whatever the original owner did in her past life. I guess as long as I stay as mild as a chrysanthemum and don't get on her nerves, I'll be fine. So, off to have some fun. But maybe it's the plot forcing things along. I run into Lily every single time I go to my part-time job. Lily was taking a photo with the giant mascot at the mall entrance. From inside the mascot costume, I spoke up weakly. It's not right for you to touch my belly like that casually. The parking lot was too far, and she got stuck with Ethan at a scenic spot on a rainy day. I pulled up in my car right in front of them. Is this for tale number 8966? The two stared at each other, hesitant to get in for a moment. I thought for a second, then held out an umbrella. $20 each, 1 or 2. They were trying bungee jumping. Ethan was venting his frustration. She's like a ghost. Is it because I kicked her out? Is she out to get me? Lily smiled. Impossible. You're overthinking it. The staff member next to them pushed up their hat brim. Heh, go to hell. With that, they reached out and gave Ethan a push, sending him plummeting down. Screams pierced the sky. Someone from the line behind called out. Whoa, listen to that scream. Is it that thrilling? I turned to Lily. Your turn. Lily stepped back silently. Such a rare, thrilling experience. He should thank me for this, right? After countless dates, the two met at a cafe. I'm sorry, Lily/Ethan said. It seems I still don't have feelings for you. Even the suspension bridge effect didn't work. Lily waved her hands hastily. No, it's not your fault. Really. Even as friends, I'm so grateful for all the help you've given me, but if you don't like me, Ethan/Lily asked, then why did you help me? Ethan fell silent for a moment, then admitted honestly, I heard about what you went through. I've seen how strong you are, you're so full of life. It made me think of some things back home, so I just wanted to lend a hand. I see, her voice softened. So that's why, back in my past life, it was because I was too cowardly back then. Ethan sighed. I'm sorry, but I can't be with you. Though honestly, it doesn't seem like you have feelings for me either. Lily nodded. Don't worry, I promised I'd help you, and I won't go back on my word. Click. A hand reached out and hit the stop button on the machine. Ethan looked at me, equal parts annoyed and amused. Okay, that's enough. Let's talk. I kept a straight face as I pressed the switch again. With a crunch, the ice was instantly turned into a slushie. No one can stop me from working my part-time job. No one. So he actually waited until I got off work. Is your car here? He asked. Yeah, why? Let's talk in your car. I already had my driver take her home first. I thought for a second, then nodded hesitantly. Sure, but my car doesn't have a back seat. You'll have to sit on the rack. This is gonna be so hard to ride. Can I even cycle with any dignity? Anyway, I'll just say it straight. I have some sleep issues. But I've noticed that every time I'm around you, I sleep really well. I want to hire you. After figuring out what he meant, I felt a little confused. Is he saying I make him so mad he passes out? But he actually enjoys feeling that way? Just then, Toby pushed the door open and walked in. You can't agree to him. He set the stuff in his hands on the table, blocking our view of each other. Toby repeated himself. Don't agree to him, because first, you have to agree to me. I looked at the ceramic artwork on the table, remembering how he'd been crazily giving me these things over the years. I couldn't help but sigh. He really loves pottery. Toby froze for a second, then blew up. Sophia, are you really nothing but a block of wood who's either asleep or totally unfeeling? There's another possibility. He's just that obsessed with pottery. Mind joining me for dinner? Ethan said. We can talk it over properly. My mouth, acting on muscle memory, whatever works. Toby huffed in annoyance. No way. I'm starving. You're eating with me first. Not wanting to bicker with a kid, Ethan kept his tone pleasant. I wasn't gonna talk about anything shady. If you want, you can come too. I'll call later to reserve 3 spots. Only then did the guy who'd been objecting nonstop look satisfied. But when we got ready to leave, Ethan stood up from his seat, swayed a little, and suddenly collapsed straight to the floor. Whoa. Toby jumped, startled. He rushed to help Ethan up. Hurry up and call someone. I nodded. Got it. I'll tell them to remove 1 reservation spot. Toby, is that the call you're supposed to make? If we're down to 2 people, maybe ordering a couple's meal would be cheaper? Toby, who'd been trying his best to hold Ethan up, fell silent for a moment. Then, very slowly, he set the man down on the ground. Looking up, he pressed me. Why aren't you calling yet? Don't know the number? Fine, I'll do it. When Ethan woke up, he was in the hospital. Me, you're awake. Congrats. The surgery was a success. You've already forgotten you're a donkey now. What little humanity we had left made us take him to the hospital, only to find out he'd just been asleep this whole time. I was puzzled beyond belief. Maybe it's a cultural thing? Where I'm from, we don't usually call passing out sleeping. The CEO's assistant, who'd arrived late, let out a huge sigh of relief when he learned his boss was fine. As he started going through his boss's recent schedule, Toby sat down quietly. What's up? Him, this is tiring to listen to. Just need a seat. I grew increasingly in awe. Turns out rich people have to work like donkeys too. Wait, no. Does he have to do everything himself? What's the point of him paying people then? If Ethan goes on a date during the day, he'll double down on work at night to make up for the time he missed. And that so-called sleeping really well? It turns out it just meant he never woke up once, getting a solid 4 to 5 hours of sleep, start to finish. Now that Ethan was awake, he tried to speak, but Toby cut in first. No need to thank me. Just stay away from her from now on. That'll be thanks enough. He tried to talk again, but I chimed in. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone about your habit of passing out and sleeping anywhere. Finally, he gave up on speaking and took action instead. With a straight face, he pulled a face out of his mouth. The scene felt strangely familiar. Toby was shocked, speechless. Whoa. I felt a surge of guilt. Oh, right. I thought he was having low blood sugar back then. Why is this still in my pocket? I'll throw it away when I get back. Relax, I know I've got to keep my dignity, even after eating a face mask. So I started clapping and exclaimed in admiration, amazing. Toby had no idea what was going on. but he followed along and clapped anyway, confused. Brilliant? Ethan silently tossed the face mask into the trash, then grabbed a wet wipe to clean his hands. I tried to comfort him, it's fine. The average person swallows like 8 spiders a year while they're asleep. Don't sweat it, it's no big deal. Life doesn't have that many onlookers, you know? Unless this is a novel, and everyone reading this part will leave comments mocking you. But that's impossible, right? He lay back down on the bed, closed his eyes, and pulled the covers over himself. He looked so peaceful, like he'd be tucked under those covers for a lifetime. Oh, wait. It seems he's passed out from anger again. I got the job, officially. I'm Ethan's special assistant. Mom asked me to take it, so of course I agreed. Ethan, your requests are pretty outrageous, but your money makes up for it, at least a little. After some careful logical thinking, I came to a preliminary conclusion. This guy's definitely a bit twisted. No way, I need to find a way to mess this up. So when he looked over my notes, he pointed out my absurd metaphors. People are just like their heads, his is shaped like a garlic clove, and his ego's just as big. A scheming smile spread across his face, which was as wrinkled as a xiaolongbao. He's like a zongzi glutinous rice dumpling. You peel off the leaves hoping to figure out what's inside. Usually it's either sweet or savory pork filling. But when you take a bite, it's pickled vegetable filling. Turns out he's not after anything, he's just bored and here to stir up trouble. He said, from now on, no more metaphors. And only come to work after you've eaten. And one more thing. He cut off another part of my notes and said, garlic clove, you think you're so clean? Who doesn't know you're cheating on your wife? Xiaolongbao, no response, picking his nose. Him, this is a shareholders meeting, not a farmer's market, stop writing down every random thing. Me, rosewilting.jpg. Him, fine, if you want to write it all down, go ahead, but when you give it to me, you need to filter it first. Me, boss, what I mean is, Bose I'm sorry. Rosewilting.jpg. Him, silent/no response. Today, during Ethan's meeting, he pulled an induction cooktop out of his laptop bag. Everyone, stunned silent/confused looks. Ethan kept a straight face, just a little joke. Sophia, go to my office and get my notebook. He paused, then added, my computer, laptop, that is. Back in the office, he was about to say something when his eyes flicked to the coffee table. He froze. Where's my tea? And where the hell did my whole tea set go? Right here. I pulled out a milk tea. Boss, drinking something too hot raises your risk of esophageal cancer. You never know how much of a workhorse you can be until you're pushed. Just fire me already, it'd be easier for both of us. Wait a second, isn't he gonna pass out? No, wait, suddenly fall asleep? But to my surprise, Ethan said nothing. He took the milk tea from me, stuck in the straw, and started drinking. What you did today was, chew, chew, chew. Way out of line. Chew, chew, chew. Don't ever do that again. Chew, 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 chew. What are these little balls in here? They're not tapioca pearls. I raved, they're popping boba. He nodded, oh. He lowered his head and kept sipping. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Where's my lunch? I pointed at his desk. It's on your desk. I ordered fried chicken for you. In all honesty, this fried chicken is really good. Too bad I have to stay mild and unassuming and can't eat it often. He sighed, lay down on the sofa, and sprawled there like a corpse. You eat it. I'll take a nap first. He's passed out from anger again. He looks kind of pitiful, though. Sleep on. When you're asleep, you won't feel hungry, I guess. Now that he's asleep, can I sneakily sit in his executive chair? Whoa, so comfy. By the time he woke up, the table was already set with dishes from his usual restaurant. Eat up. Don't want my boss to starve to death. That night, Ethan had a business dinner, so I dragged the drunk man back home. He was surprisingly well-behaved, docile the entire time, letting me move him around as I pleased. Watching him lie on the sofa, one hand dangling limply, I thought to myself, he's actually pretty good-looking. I was just thinking I should at least help him take off his coat when, as I leaned over, the gloves that came free with the fried chicken fell to the floor. I'd been wanting to complain about these gloves for a while. Why do they have to package them like this? Thank goodness he's asleep. If he saw this, I'd never be able to explain it no matter how hard I tried. I picked up the gloves and stood up, only to find the man who'd been sound asleep staring wide awake. His gaze first flicked over the item in my hand, then slowly drifted to my face. Me? Oh. I do want to mess up this job, but not like this. I blinked, then without hesitation tore open the glove package, put them on, and got ready to fetch his slippers. New bedtime helper service, no need to thank me. Beat the boss black and blue till he drifts into a deep sleep. How about it? Aren't my shoes fabulous, Your Highness? Just then, he spoke up. You don't actually need to do anything, you know. Nothing at all? Then why did you hire me? He shifted into a more comfortable sleeping position, nestling in cozily. I don't know. It seems, just being around me is enough. I must have woken up too abruptly. I've turned into a comfort dog. He let out a soft chuckle. His mind seemed slower than usual. After a moment's delay, he continued. After my mom was betrayed by my dad, her mental state hasn't been good. Dad had an illegitimate child, and she thinks everything's my fault, that dad cheated and dotes on that child because I'm not good enough. Wait a second, stop talking. You're not in your right mind right now, you don't know what you should or shouldn't say. He only paused for a moment before continuing. After the divorce, she didn't take me with her. Later, she remarried, and her mental state got much better. She had another child, and she's really good to that kid. When I went to see her, she actually kept her guard up against me. She's afraid I'll hurt her child, but I'm her kid too, you know. I somewhat understood why he'd helped Lily, he'd felt empathy for her. I sighed. You'll regret this tomorrow morning when you wake up. He looked at me. Don't you have anything to say? Am I supposed to say something? I wondered aloud. I don't know. Maybe, sympathy? Or, you always seem like you understand everything. I thought you'd tell me to understand her, forgive her, or say that kid's innocent, something like that. Ethan, do you know what I'm thinking right now? He tilted his head, fell silent for 2 seconds, then said, you don't care? How'd you know that? That's impressive. I went along with what he said. Ethan, I don't care. I don't care if you understand her, or if you understand that kid. Your mom was confused back then, but compared to you at that time, she was definitely not the more vulnerable one. That kid is innocent, but so are you. Whether you understand or not, forgive or not, I think either way is reasonable. But which direction things end up going depends entirely on you alone. Do you get that? I'm not you. I haven't lived through your past, so I have no right to tell you what to do. No one has the right to persuade you to forgive or not. It would be irresponsible of me to casually influence your judgment. Other than you, honestly, no one else really cares about this matter deep down. If someone tries to convince you of something, just listen to it and move on. Focus on your own feelings. Because this has nothing to do with anyone else, they'll say whatever off the top of their heads, then go back to their own lives. In the end, you're the one who has to live with the consequences. If someone pressures you, don't pay it any mind. Either this matter affects their interests so they're not being fair to begin with, or they just want to voice their opinion, they'll never take responsibility for your life. What am I even saying to a drunk person? The person who had listened quietly the entire time finally spoke. So that's why you're so unperturbed by everything, why you're so indulgent toward Lily. And that's why I feel so at ease with you. He closed his eyes. If you don't know what else to do, read to me, Sophia. Will you read for a while? You don't need to do anything extra. I hired you to be my friend. Is that okay? He was really out of it from the alcohol. Even though I thought that, I still casually picked a book from his bookshelf, sat beside him, and read until he fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. It was already late when I headed home. When I got to my apartment building, I spotted someone standing downstairs. Toby? He turned around. One look at his face, and I instantly knew. He's drunk. What's going on? Why is everyone a drunkard tonight? How much did you drink? I asked. He made a gesture like he'd lost the Korean market and slurred, just a little. Looks like more than a little to me. I pulled out my phone to hail him a ride, but he inched closer, like a clingy puppy. Am I the first? Am I the first one to wish you a happy birthday? It was just past midnight. My messages were empty. No one had stayed up to send me a birthday wish right on the dot. Yes, you're the first. But why come all the way here? Couldn't you just send a text? He stared at me intently, his tone dead serious. I couldn't wait. I couldn't hold on till morning. I needed to see you right now. There, you've seen me. Go home soon, okay? Don't make your parents worry. He looked a little wronged. Sophia, you're such a blockhead. I gave him a half-amused look. Toby, do you like me?